Hey, welcome back to the channel. I decided that, I watched a new Hallmark Christmas movie this year, and because of the pandemic and quarantine and all these other things, I have more time on my hands. So I thought, I'm bringing back the Hallmark reviews.
Break out the eggnog. Christmas is saved.
Oh, you.
So the one that I watched this time was The Christmas Ring. It premiered just this past weekend. It was on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, which I feel is important because it totally affects the plot, which totally affects how this review is going to go. It's going to have to be vague because it's about kind of solving a mystery. I don't like to give all that away, not into spoilers. So, this one stars Nazneen Contractor as Kendra and David Alpay as Michael. So the story starts out with Kendra. She is a lady. She's a journalist living in Boston, and she works for this company called Quizzer, which for me was the Hallmark version of BuzzFeed because she wants to write real stories and be an actual kind of like journalist. I don't know if journalist is the word, but she's really into like human interest pieces. And, they just are like, write a quiz about what kind of reindeer you are, or like a list of your favorite Christmas items, stuff like that. So, she's working there, but she doesn't seem super happy. That's the groundwork for Kendra. A little piece of back history for Kendra is that when her parents died, her mother's wedding ring, I don't know, it disappeared. So anytime she goes to an antique store, she likes to go through the jewelry and see if she might ever run into her mom's old ring. She happens to run into this stunning, huge wedding ring. The rock is. She looks at it and she sees this inscription on it that says, "Forever my Christmas love, 1948." And she is like, what is the story behind this? And with the inscription and how nice the ring was, how did it end up here in this antique store, forgotten almost? She really latches onto this because she kind of says if somebody ever found her mom's old ring, that she would want them, to find out where it came from. So she kind of decides she needs to find out where this ring came from and who it belonged to and why they wouldn't have it anymore. So that ends up leading her to this town called Pine Grove, which is, picture perfect town in Massachusetts. She finds out that the jeweler that produced this ring was located there. So that's kind of where she starts the journey. When she goes there, she runs into Michael, aka David Alpay, and, he's really mean to her, rude. He's like, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. And you're kind of like, what's this guy's problem? But he'll come around because he's the star of the movie. I don't think it's a spoiler to say you end up finding out later that he was engaged to an heiress, and the breakup was pretty public. So when he finds out that she's a journalist from out of town, he's all like, get away from me, because he doesn't want that to become a story. He's trying to move on with his life and just be a normal person. He's very standoffish to her. Anyway, she kind of goes around this town meeting people. She ends up meeting his brother Scott, played by Casey Manderson. He's in every Hallmark movie, I feel like. At least the new ones. He's usually a pretty prominent supporting character. She meets him and his wife Trish. Turns out the wife Trish works at the local newspaper, so she has access to a lot of the historical things. Long story short, I don't want to give away all the details because she is kind of solving a mystery as the movie goes. The ring belonged to Michael, David Alpay's grandparents. She finds that out and then kind of they spend the movie piecing together why they got rid of it, how they got it, because nobody remembers the grandma having it, and that's what they spend a lot of the movie doing. I don't want to get into all the details of what they find out and what they do because I don't want to spoil it when it's a little mystery like that. I think that's kind of freaky. But obviously, as they work to figure this out together, she gets closer with Michael. It takes a lot of work because he is very standoffish and very not wanting to take that risk of being heartbroken. And also he doesn't trust her because she is a journalist, because BuzzFeed. And So, he's kind of like, is she really here looking for the ring history? Like, that's kind of weird. Doesn't make sense. So, you have to work through a lot of that. But this isn't about me giving away all the spoilers. This is about me giving the review. So here's the hard facts. This movie, not my favorite, but it was pretty good. It captivated my interest for a full 2 hours, which I think is pretty impressive. I will say I was interested in this because my favorite Hallmark movie ever, The Mistletoe Inn, also has David Alpay. So I was excited for this one. I've never seen Nazneen Contractor in anything before, but she is stunning. So both beautiful main people, and the 2 supporting people were pretty good too. I do think the main girl, Kendra, was a little too passionate about this random ring. I mean, obviously that's what the story had to stem from, but I think her passion for just some rings she found at an antique store was a little weird at times, and she was like a little too peppy at times, but that's Hallmark for you. I will say it was pretty good. I liked, you could kind of figure out the mystery pretty easily as you go, but it's still kind of fun to watch them figure it out and all that. I will tell you, they kissed before the final scene, which I think is a scandal in a Hallmark movie, because usually they only kiss at the very end, and you're always waiting for it. So I thought that was very exciting. And so I'll give it 4 out of 5 Christmas cookies, or maybe we should do Christmas ornaments this year, or, I don't know. So maybe we'll give it 4 out of 5 Christmas ornaments. I'm not going to try to claim to do all the new movies like I did that one time. Like I claimed to that one time. I did not actually do that. But be on the lookout for more Hallmark Christmas movie reviews.